You are listening to Viewpoints from PlaceCloud. Cultural researchers tell stories of places from around the world. For the full multimedia experience and to support the creators you enjoy, visit placecloud.io.
Watch out. From a basement here by London Wall, a gang of villains profoundly skilled in pneumatic chemistry is using an air loom to overwhelm politicians, the nobility, and royalty. At least this is according to James Tilly Matthews, who from 1797 to 1814 was committed to Bedlam Royal Hospital, better known as Bedlam, a psychiatric hospital. The cell from which he imagined all that follows was just a few hundred metres away. He is the first clinically recorded instance of what would now be recognised as paranoid schizophrenia in Britain. He also believes himself to be the Air Loom gang's worst victim, assailed by brain sayings, dream workings, and lobster crackings. While this gang spend most of their time at home, lying together in promiscuous intercourse and filthy community, they occasionally appear in the streets to convene with other such gangs working around London, near the Houses of Parliament, the Treasury, and St. Luke's Hospital. You might easily mistake them for pickpockets or private distillers. Keep your eyes peeled. The Air Loom is a daunting machine, with piano keys, levers, tubes and cylinders, barrels of gases, and a windmill of sails. The foul preparations employed in the Air Loom include effluvia of dogs, sulphur, mortification and the plague, and Egyptian snuff, the putrid and suffocating stench of the stagnant pools of the River Nile. According to Matthews, the loom works not on the warp of fabric, but the warp of magnetic fluid. When heated, this magnetic fluid becomes luminous and visible as a weak rainbow. Via this equipment, the gang can control magnetic atmospheres and fluids to inflict a variety of tortures, such as stomach skinning, bomb bursting, lengthening the brain, cutting soul from sense, and apoplexy working with the nutmeg grater. They enact their most powerful manipulations on the highest political institutions in the land, with aforementioned brain sayings and the most subtle technique of all, kiting. As boys raise a kite in the air, so these wretches contrive to lift into the brain some particular idea which floats and undulates in the intellect for hours together. Many members of government are mesmerised, including the Prime Minister William Pitt. If you hear a grating noise in your ears, somewhat resembling the compression of a wicker basket, you have almost certainly been influenced. The leader of the gang is Bill, or the King. He is 64 to 65 years old and the most skilled and dexterous at working the machinery of the Air Loom with the most unrelenting and murderous villainy. He has never been seen to smile. He is second in his abilities on the Air Loom only to the Middleman, a manufacturer of air looms with a broad chest and a hawk-like countenance. Unlike Bill, the Middleman considers his persecutions a sport, and sits at the controls of the Air Loom with a grinning, delighted leer. Two other men rarely, if ever, use the machine. Jack the Schoolmaster is often seen by James Tilly Matthews shoving his wig back on his head. He styles himself the Recorder, a shorthand writer who dictates all that Matthews says and endeavours to force his own style upon him. Sir Archie is the common liar of the gang, a low-minded blackguard who cracks obscene jokes and sarcastic jibes. He is clad in drab, old-fashioned clothes and flouts the heirloom in favour of his own personal magnet. Some of the villains claim that Sorachi is a woman dressed in man's apparel. When asked directly about this, Sorachi replies in a manner so quaint and indelicate that Matthews cannot venture to communicate his reply. 3 of the gang we know for certain are women. Augusta seldom works the machine, but frequently ventures outside to correspond with other heirloom gangs in the West End. At first she seems friendly and cajoling, but turns spiteful when she is unable to influence. Her particular target is other women. Charlotte appears to be a prisoner of the gang, forcibly chained up, naked and poorly fed. The most terrifying is the Glove Woman, so called because she constantly wears cotton mittens. Sorachi insinuates that she keeps her arms covered because she has got the itch. Her technique on the heirloom is remarkable. She has never been known to speak. The heirloom gang's ultimate aim, says Matthews, is the surrendering of every British secret to the French government, which is in the throes of multiple European wars and its own violent revolution. Indeed, one of Matthews's delusions, that he was involved in a series of peacekeeping missions between Paris and London in the lead-up to the revolution, may not have been a delusion at all. He was imprisoned in France between 1793 and 1796, at the height of the French Reign of Terror. He was suspected of being a double agent and closely aligned with the Girondins, a political group originally considered radical, but soon seen as moderate. Too moderate, and purged en masse at the guillotine. There is a case to be made for the influence of the French Revolution on imagining the gang. The plots, conspiracies, double-crossings, and dread which characterised French and British political life in the 18th century. The heirloom of the Industrial Revolution, a means of mechanising the life of individuals, just as the guillotine of the French Revolution mechanised their deaths. Academic Roy Porter, however, suggests an alternative, more local influence on Matthews' delusions: the staff, doctors, and other patients of Bedlam. Who is Jack the schoolmaster, the shorthand recorder? Perhaps Matthews' doctor, John Haslam, noting down Matthews's beliefs and publishing them in the very book on which this account is based. Who is Charlotte, the naked, chained-up prisoner? Perhaps fellow patient James Norris, who was confined in a custom-built harness, denying him movement for 14 years. Or even Matthews himself, who, his nephew claimed, was set in leg locks for 2 years by his doctor to assert authority over the patient. If this was truly the case, then Matthews had the last laugh. In 1816, in part because of Matthews's written testimony, Dr. John Haslam was dismissed for malpractice. As you walk around London Wall today, however, eyeing the gigantic red and blue pipes emerging from the ground by Alban Gate, pipes which may well lead to a nearby basement, you may have another idea of the heirloom and its influence. A machine made of rare metals and magnetic fluids used to communicate over long distances, currently implicated in the manipulation and subversion of democratic governments, is no exotic fantasy. Most of us carry an heirloom in our pockets wherever we go. There is a strong possibility that you are currently using one to listen to my voice. By all means, stay on the lookout for gangs of miscreants. But remember, I am performing brain sayings on you.